Hello, you're watching Sightline on MNB World, an interview program that invites various guests for a conversation on different important topics. And today in our studio we have consultant of CISAC, Mr. Satoshi Watanabe. Hello, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you for inviting this program.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. Satoshi Watanabe is an expert in the field of copyright. He has worked for more than 40 years in the Japanese Society for Rights of Authors, Composers and Publishers. Between 2016-2022, Mr. Watanabe served as the Asia-Pacific Committee Chairman in CISAC, the International Confederation of Societies of Authors and Composers, and currently serves as CISAC's Asia-Pacific Advisor. I would like to start our interview from the purpose of your visit to Mongolia, and could you please introduce to our viewers about the operations of CISAC?
CISAC is the International Confederation of Copyright Societies, and it is a non-governmental and a non-profit-making umbrella organization. And composers, lyricists, painters, sculptors, all the creators in a different art form in the CISAC community. The CISAC represents 4 million creators around the world. And Moscap is a local society in Mongolia. It's a music society. It's a member of CISAC society. And myself is a consultant of CISAC for this region. I assist Asian societies. And the purpose of my visit this time to discuss the challenges and opportunities with Moscap colleagues to improve the operations for better protection of their members.
I see. You have just mentioned that the CISAC works in the copyright industry in general. Can you describe to our viewers the principles of copyright? How can we explain the copyright shortly?
Yes, copyright is individual creators' economic rights. And the works of composers, sculptors, all art forms, they are protected in national law and also international copyright treaties. So Mongolia is a member of Berne Convention and WIPO, that's a World Intellectual Property Organization. The internet treaties, they acceded to that treaties 2021. So Mongolia is in a position to respect and protect the foreign copyrights in the from the member state creators.
You have just mentioned that Mongolian Society of Composers, Authors and Publishers, Moscap, has become the member of the CISAC. And can you explain how the CISAC operations can benefit its members, for example, Moscap?
Moscap is already a member of CISAC, and it's legally already protected, but in practice, and collective management organizations, CMO, representing local creators and making contract with the sister societies around the world. By that way, we reciprocally represent the rights. So Moscap represent their own members' rights as well as the sister societies' rights. So to be a member of a CISAC community, Moscap works internationally protected using CISAC administration tool.
In other words, it also expands their network of connections, network of relations with other organizations in other countries.
True. Moscap is in the process to increasing representation contract with the foreign societies. And CISAC, Asia Pacific Committee, that's a regional group of CISAC societies assisting Moscap to improve its operation and more reciprocal contract.
I see. CISAC has 220 members all around the world. And can you share with us like the positive experiences or good examples of how local governments support the creative industry by collaborating with similar community, collective management organizations, if there are any good examples?
I would like to suggest the government, especially the IP offices, to do some education and awareness campaigns that will help the general public to understand what copyright is. And music users, you have to take out a license for the use of Mongolian works as well as international works. You contact a local society and to take out a license to use that. It's protected under the copyright law and international treaty.
Maybe there are like examples of very successful cooperation between the government of a certain country and their local CISAC organization?
Well, I'm originally from Japanese Copyright Society, JASRAC, and Japanese government in cooperation with WIPO, they have organized the copyright awareness seminars, symposium, inviting IP officers from Asian countries, including Mongolia, to learn and exchange the views how to develop the collective management system in their own countries. I think this is a very successful project.
Mongolia has its own respective laws regarding the copyright and content and intellectual property. How would you compare the Mongolia's legal environment to the other members, for example, in Northeast Asia or Asia Pacific?
Well, as I mentioned, that Mongolia have acceded Berne Convention. That's a basis of a copyright treaty that many years ago. And 2021, the Mongolia acceded to WIPO copyright treaty, WIPO related rights treaty. We call it internet treaties. Now I think that Mongolia is in compliance with international standard protecting digital usages.
Why should authors and content creators should join the collective management organizations? For example, in Mongolia there's a Moscap. What benefits will they have?
To be a CISAC member, Mongolian works, Moscap members' works, given international identifier, works identifier. Also, it's uploaded. It's a CISAC International Works network. By that way, foreign societies can access Mongolian works. Okay, this is protected and can be licensed by local society. So more opportunities for Mongolian works to be used internationally. That will, of course, benefit to the individual creators, and also it's contribute the creative industry of Mongolia, I think.
And can you share with us about the future plans of cooperation between CISAC and Moscap?
Moscap, they appointed new officers. They started to communicate with the sister societies counterparts. And sister societies communicating and exchanging information on a daily basis. And some difficult things. We are discussing a lot AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, and metaverse. Who owns the copyright? How we license that? All the new technologies coming up and how to deal with as a CMO. That's very important. And Moscap is relatively a developing society. So other Asian societies are willing to help Moscap to grow because we protect their works, and they protect our works in Mongolia. So more cooperation, we like to strengthen our working relation with Moscap.
Okay, thank you for providing information about CISAC activities and the Moscap cooperation. Well, that was the new episode of Sightline. We'll see you next time with more stories and updates. Have a nice week. Goodbye.